Hello everyone. So today here I am presenting in front of you a new chapter called Organizing. Yes, it in your business studies syllabus, organizing is the fifth chapter. But what I actually thought, to make things very simple, we would do organizing as the fourth chapter, because business environment being the third chapter, we would do it later after we complete the management functions. That is, we'll finish planning first, then move on to organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, and then we would do business environment. So you will be related from the chapter planning till controlling. Things will get related and it's easy for you to study as a very big let's say a mass. Okay, so I thought, let me make this chapter colorful. So I have included a lot of pics and let's say people, so that you have never seen them. So I thought, let me also include them for you. Now, organizing, what is the reason we are studying or looking into this chapter? Because in planning, we have made a lot of plans, we have set a lot of objectives, okay, but we have to put those objectives and plans into action. So for that, the next thing is we need to organize a lot of resources, okay, so that those goals can be accomplished. So in this chapter called Organizing, we are going to study how we can organize these resources. You know what resources refers to, right? That's finance, raw materials, HR, and what else? Technology. Yes. So in this chapter, we will learn how we can organize these resources so that we can accomplish the goals, and whatever planning process we have structured, we can also achieve it with the changing business environment. Yes, the environment around us keeps changing. So depending on the changing business environment, we organizing will help us to understand how we can cope ourselves. Okay, so that is going to be the introduction of what is the need, or why we should actually study this chapter. So basically, in planning, we have drawn all the plans to achieve our objectives, but we have not yet achieved. So we have drawn all our plans, let's say in paper or in blueprint. Now the next thing is we need to start buying a lot of things. So that refers to resources. So all these resources needs to be utilized properly, okay, effectively and efficiently. So that's what we're going to be studying in this chapter called Organizing. Now moving on to the next slide. The next slide I have in your notes. I thought, let me take the same mind map and put it here for you so that it's easy for you to understand how we are going to go ahead with this chapter. So today I will finish meaning and definition of organizing. Both these would come as a 1 marker or a 2 marker, which is very, very important. Please mark it or please write it down. Meaning and definition of organizing is very important. Importance of organizing is a definite 8 marker. It is repeated in, I think, 5 to 6 question papers now, both papers. So it is very important that you study the importance of organizing. And the remaining things are there. That is the process or the steps of organizing. Okay, and then you have the organizational structure, formal and informal. And then formal and informal is divided into 2. Delegation, decentralization, and you have importance of decentralization, and the last topic you have is centralization. That's only the meaning you have, which is not here. It doesn't really matter. So today in this particular video, I'm going to complete meaning, definition, importance of organizing, and process of organizing. So importance is an 8 marker and process of organizing is a 4 marker. It used to come, yes, it is a 4 marker. So you can study it only for 4 marks. Okay. So today we are going to finish the first 4 topics. Then I'll move on to the next slide. Now, what is the meaning and the definition of organizing? I told you it's very important, right? So these 2 important personalities that I have here. You know who Henry Fayol is by now, right? He is the one who is the father of general management, who is helped by giving us the 14 principles of management so that the business can function and people can know what is the meaning of discipline and division of work and order, and what is the difference between unity of command, unity of direction. Indirectly or directly, the organization, any MNC organization you see, is following the 14 principles provided by Henry Fayol. So I thought for the definition, let me take his definition. It is the smallest definition for you to remember for your board paper. And along with that, I took another easy one. It's from by Lewis Allen. So this person who you are actually seeing there is called Lewis Allen. And so now a better way of remembering the answers, because you have pictures to remember the person. So when you have pictures to remember the person, keeping him in mind, you can study the answer. So anytime they ask you define organizing, you know it's Henry Fayol, you know it's Lewis Allen, and depending on that you can write your definition. So things are going to be much more easy for you. Now let's look into the meaning of organizing. Okay, now if planning should be fruitful, okay, a number of considerations like resources is needed to be taken into consideration so that we can optimum utilize the same resource and our work will also get maximized, and we can also achieve the organizational goals. Now, what is the meaning of organizing organizing? It is a process. Planning is also a process. It is not just one day task or 1 hour task. It is a continuous process. Same way, organizing is a process, so underline it, of identifying. What are you doing? You're identifying here. What are you identifying? You are identifying the work that you have to perform. Look there. It says identifying and grouping the work to be performed. So what are you doing? You are identifying how the work should be performed. Whether it's a single person who has to do the job, whether it's 2 people that's needed to do the job, you are identifying. Okay, by now we are identifying what job needs to be done. And defining means what? You're speaking about it, you're telling people about it. You know what, this is the work and this is how it needs to be done. And dedicating authority and responsibility. What is authority? Giving orders. And what's responsibility? Whoever has authority has the responsibility. It is something that's inward, right? Person takes the responsibility by himself to do the job what is assigned to him. So first thing is you're identifying and grouping the work that you have to do. Okay, you're defining, you're speaking about it, and you're dedicating authority and responsibility. You're telling that yes, you are the team leader. Example, Ravi, you're the team leader. So this is your job that you need to do. Okay, and you are enabling people to work more effectively and efficiently to accomplish the goals. Very simple. What is it? The management is looking how this job has to be done. The management is understanding that this job should be done by 1 person, 2 people. You are calling those 1 people, 2 people. You are speaking to those 1 people, 2 people. That is what is called defining. And then you are dedicating the authority and you're telling them, see, since you're the team leader and the manager, I'm giving the authority and the responsibility to ensure that this job is completed. So what is it? In helping to accomplish the goals. So very simple meaning you have. Please study it. It is not very big if you underlined the important terminologies. Moving on to the definition. According to Henry Fayol, to organize a business is to provide. Organize means what? To make sure that the business is very effective and efficient and to ensure that employees can start doing their job. Okay. To organize a business is to provide it with everything. What are the things you're providing it with? Basically, you're providing it with resources. Okay. Resources refers to 4 words. What is it? Raw materials. Then what? Technology, human resources, and you're providing it with what else? Human resources, raw materials, technology, and finance. So what is Henry Fayol trying to tell us? To organize a business is to provide the business with everything. Okay, everything useful. What are the things that is useful to provide a business with? Okay, raw materials, machines, tools. Raw materials is what? Machines is what? Technology and whatever machinery you require to do your job. Then what else? Tools. Capital refers to money, and personal, human resource. That is why I told you Henry Fayol's definition is way too simple for you to remember. So please study it. It will come for a 2 marker or a 1 marker, and it's definite to come. The second definition is according to Lewis Allen. If in case you feel Henry Fayol is difficult, you can study this. If you see the meaning and if you see the definition provided by Lewis Allen, both are one and the same. I would not say one and the same. Probably here and there words are the same. So that's why I say make a note of the terminologies which are repetiting in nature. Okay, so organizing is a process of identifying and grouping the work to be performed, defining and delegating responsibility and authority, and establishing relationships for the purpose of enabling people to work more effectively together in accomplishing the objectives. It is the same definition. If you want to write anything else means what? You can probably write the meaning of organizing as: organizingly essentially implies a process which coordinates human efforts, assembles resources, and integrates both into unified whole to be utilized for achieving specified objectives. You can write this also. This also is the meaning of organizing. Okay. So either one of it you can study and you can write. So what I would say is please study both, because both is very, very important for you. So moving down to the next topic. The next topic refers to the organizing process. Okay. Now as per your mind map, you will see importance of organizing. Doesn't really matter. The reason why I put organizing process first is because if you understand this first, you will know what's the importance. Automatically you will know the importance. So that's the reason I put this first. Now as per your planning process, organizing process is much more simplified and it's much more easy, and you know most of the explanation by now. So what is the organizing process? Okay, the first one, you look at the diagram, it says identification of activities. Okay, so identification of activities refers to identification and division of work. Again, I'll repeat. Identification of activities refers to identification and division of work. The second one is grouping of activities. Grouping of activities refers to the word called departmentalization. I'll repeat again. Grouping of activities refers to the word called departmentalization. The third one is assignment of duties. And the fourth one is establishing reporting relationships. So what I have done is, even if this diagram is not very clear for you, if you feel that this diagram is confusing, it's not very clear for you, it is okay. You don't have to worry, because I have detailed notes that I have put in the next slide. So it is very clearly understandable for you. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Now this is a 4 marker answer, or it can come as an 8 marker, but as of now it's always come as a 4 marker. Okay, so steps involved in the process of organizing, it's also called as organizing process, or what are the steps involved? Either of it, it's the same answer. So the first one is identification and division of work. By now, this word identifying or identification, what does it refers to? You are looking into the work or the job that has to be done, and you are seeing how you have to divide that work. So by now in Henry Fayol's first principle, you have studied division of work. What is it? The work should be divided into small jobs. Each job should be done by a specialized or specialist. If there is a specialist who is doing that job, this increases the quality and the quantity of production and the efficiency of the work, and it does not cause any duplication of work. Look at me, even without looking at any explanation. I'm just telling you. How is it? Because by now, if anyone tells you what's division of work, you should know the explanation. Now let's look at the first process of organizing, identification and division of work. So what are they saying? Now that you have put all your blueprint into place and you know what is the job that has to be done, you have got a big chunk of work, okay, that you have to do in the MNC company. So what are you doing? First thing is you will divide that work. That's the first process you will do. You will divide that work. So what is it? The process of organizing starts with the identification and division of work. The whole work is to be divided into specific jobs or specific activities. That means it refers to small jobs, okay? By dividing the work, the burden is reduced. For whom is the burden reduced? The burden is reduced for the management as well as for the employees. Why? Because they are not confused what work they have to do. They already know what is their job they have to do. Okay? And work can be shared among employees. This improves specialization of work and skill. For whom is it improving specialization of work and skill? For the employees. And this avoids duplication of work. The second one is departmentalization. What is the meaning of the word departmentalization? You know that the first thing is a big chunk of work. Chunk means what? A big, let's say a lot of work. You are dividing it into small groups. Okay? That dividing into small jobs or small groups. Let's say small jobs. Okay? That work you're dividing it into small jobs. That small jobs only, it is called as departmentalization. Example, I'll tell you. You have finance department, human resource department, marketing department, and let's say you have production department. Now what is it? You are dividing the work into different departments which is common so that people will know how efficient they are or what job that they have to do. So that's the meaning of departmentalization. So that's the second step of organizing. The second step in organizing is departmentalization. It refers to the process of grouping activities. So what am I doing? I'm grouping activities based on production department. I'm grouping activities based on finance. I'm grouping activities based on human resource. Okay. I'm grouping activities based on what? Software, hardware, technology. So what is it? You are grouping activities that are similar in nature, okay, under different departments, divisions and sections. So what is it? Once you divide them into departments, below the departments, you have small divisions or section. Example, under the finance department, you have cost accounting, accounts receivables, accounts payables, general ledger team. So all these are small sections. Each section will be led by a team leader or by a manager. Yes, the human resource department will be led by the recruitment team, the performance appraisal team, the operational excellence team. So what is it? Every department has different, that is small sections or divisions. Okay. So what do? Departmentalization is done to achieve coordination. Coordination means what? It is to bring everybody together, to bring the employees together, unity, to facilitate unity of efforts. Now, departmentalization, based on what are you dividing it? Based on functions, that is, see the example. Purchase department is for purchase activity. Finance department is for finance activity. Human resource department is for employees, whatever they are facing, their problems or recruitment activity. Okay. So like that you have on the basis of product manufactured. Example, you are manufacturing garments. You are manufacturing food division. You are manufacturing, let's say, skincare. Okay. So based on the products that a company is manufacturing, they will divide them into several other departments. Okay. So every department is different. It's not the same. If it is the same, they will not be called as departments. They'll be called as just one work. Third one, on the basis of territory. Territory means what? North, south, east, west. Where exactly is the department placed? Like, are you in the north zone? Are you in the south zone? Are you in the east? Are you in the west? So where exactly are you? So based on that, you will be segregated. The work would be segregated. So do you understand, or did you understand the first 2 points? Identification and division of work, departmentalization. So let's move on to the third one. The third one refers to assignment of duties. Now what have you done? You have identified and divided the work. Second one, you have allocated the work based on different departments. All this is done by the top levels. The third one is, it's high time you provide this job, or you give this work so that they can start doing the job. Who can start doing the job? The employees can start doing the job, for which you are providing managers, or you are helping the managers to take initiative for it. Okay, so what is happening in assignment of duties? The manager is the one, the top level management will tell the middle level management, this is the assigned duties which your team should complete, or which your department should complete. So the manager would take full initiative in ensuring that the job gets completed. Okay, so let's see what it says. Once departments have been formed, each of them is placed under the charge of an individual. Individual refers to a manager, management. Bigger the organization, bigger the levels will also be there. Smaller the organization, the levels will also be small. So every department is placed under the charge of an individual called departmental head. So he will be called as the production manager, finance manager, marketing manager, or any other manager depending on the name of the department. So what happens? This manager, jobs are then allocated to the members. So what does this manager do? It's like a story. It's a very easy story. So this manager allocates means what? He divides the job to the members. Members refers to the subordinates or to the employees at the lower level of each department according to their skills and qualification. So if you have done your MCom, your MBA, and let's say you are from a finance background, they will say you are into a finance department or into a cost accounting department, depending on your skill, your qualification, your knowledge. Okay. If you have done MBA in HR, you will get into the HR team. Okay. That's how it goes. So in order to ensure effective performance in an organization, it is essential that there is a balance, that a balance is created between the nature of the job and the ability of the employee. What does this refer to? It's very important. Again, I'll read it. In order to ensure effective performance in an organization, in order to make sure the organization is earning maximum amount of profit and the goals are also achieved, the organization should ensure that the right person is placed for the right job. Right person means what? As per the nature of the job, as per the type of the job, you are placing the person who has a lot of ability and is interested in doing that kind of job. Why are they telling you this? If you are going to place the wrong person into that kind of job, it's going to get very difficult for that person to do that job. So that's the reason. Example, I'll tell you. If you are interested in a finance job, but when you get selected in a company, you qualify, let's say, for a call center job. Will you be happy doing that kind of job? No. Will you be able to achieve your targets, what's provided by the organization? No. So that is the reason, very much important, that a balance is created between the nature of the job and the ability of the employee to do the job. Okay. So the fourth one is establishing reporting relationship. Now that full-fledgedly work is being assigned to you, you have started doing the job, you should know who is your team leader, who is your manager, so that anything happens, you will be able to go ahead and ask him for what we have to do, or you will be able to let him know what's going on. Otherwise it'll not have a good relationship with you. You always need to have a good relationship with your managers and your team leaders. If you do not have a good relationship, it's going to get very difficult for you to do your work. Okay, so what are they saying? Merely allocating work is not enough. Merely allocating means who's allocating? The team leader and the manager is the one who's allocating the work. Allocating means dividing or giving the work. Giving and dividing the work is not just enough for the manager or the team leader. What are they supposed to do? Each individual refers to the subordinates or the employees at the lower level. Each individual should also know from whom he has to take orders. That means who his manager and the team leader is, above the manager who their top level manager is, who the vice president or the assistant vice president or the operational manager is, and whom he is accountable to. That means he should know. If he is receiving orders and if he is receiving some feedback from a team leader or his manager or a senior manager, he should know how important it is for him. Okay, it helps in coordination among various departments and creates a hierarchical structure. Definitely, when you know who is above you, what happens? It definitely creates a hierarchical structure. Very true. What is the meaning of hierarchical structure? So hierarchical structure means you know who is coming above you. Like example, I'll tell you. See, this is the next slide for the topic called importance of organizing. Okay, you actually see this. You have, just forget about the vertical and the horizontal structure. Okay, for now you forget about it. You know, let's finish the red diagram first. Now let's say the first person at the top, let's say, is the vice president. Okay, and below that there are two assistant vice president. Actually, in one particular department that will not happen, but I'm just giving you an example. Now let's say the first vice president, so the first assistant vice president, those are the two people who are there. The first assistant vice president is from the finance department. The second assistant vice president is from the, let's say, marketing department. So what is happening? The first assistant vice president, below him has one senior manager and one manager. Okay, so the other assistant vice president, that's from the HR team, from the marketing team, he also has two managers. One is a senior manager and another one is only the manager. So if you see, each of them have below them a team leader or they have their own manager. So what is this? This is what is the meaning of the terminology called hierarchy. Okay, every employee should know who is above them. If they look at a person in working with them, they should know which is this my manager, he is in my department. Correctly, people you're working with every day, by then you will start knowing, 6 months down the lane, that okay, this is my senior manager, this is my operational manager, this is my vice president, this is my assistant vice president. Why? You are working with them on a daily basis. Being an employee, you're not working means hand to hand, you're not working, but at least you're looking at them and you know from what your team leader and your manager is keeping you updated. So it's very important that you know who you are reporting to. Okay, and how does a reporting relationship follows? Is it? So by now we complete the topic, that is steps involved in the process of organizing. I'm sure that you will be able to understand this particular topic. The next topic is importance of organizing. For importance of organizing, I have 2 slides where it shows the notes, where you can study the notes from there, and you have a whiteboard video which I have attached to this particular PPT. So please look into it and please see if you're able to understand. Any doubts, any comments, if you feel that it was very effective or if you really liked what was done, please send me a comment or please let me know what you actually feel. I will see if I can improvise it based on what you want. Okay, so thank you so much.